Hi guys, it's Mark here from the Sporting Chat. How are we all doing? Quick introduction today to podcast number 6. Today we're going to be looking at the NBA, specifically the Southwest Division in the Western Conference. I've got a good friend, Mr. Andy Smyth, here with me today. Say hello.
Hello.
And we're going to go back and forwards as a passionate Spurs fan myself and a betrayal of a Dallas Mavericks fan and Andy.
Best team in the West.
So just before we jump in, as usual, I want to just give a shout out to our sort of partner that we've got going on here and linkmethis.com. I know you guys have been jumping on there over the crazy weekend, which is Black Friday and Cyber Monday and things, so keep jumping on the site. I know Gav looks after these and the deals that he puts on there, so jump on to linkmethis.com. Just before we jump into the NBA, thanks very much for the feedback from the NFl Pickem podcast that we're doing on the weekend. Really good fun. This week Andrew actually beat Scott 10-9, so that's one each on the weeks back. So we'll be doing that on Friday this week for the upcoming game, so stay tuned. So Andy, there we go.
Sir.
How we doing? First of all, you alright?
Good, thank you. Yes, good.
Good man. So yeah, since we've started this, we've been kind of dying to jump on, speak about the NBA, being a passionate Dallas fan, and yeah.
Yes. just been enjoying the NBA this year, and just as when you started this, I thought it'd be great just to come and have a chat with you and see what people think about what I think about the NBA as well.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, I've got some opinions about it.
Indeed, we'll jump into that over the course of the podcast. Yeah, as I say, it was an easy pick really. We were talking about what division we should jump in, and the Western Conference is so stacked that speaking about it as a whole for one podcast, we could be here for a while. So jumping into the Southwest just kind of makes sense, you know, being the Spurs and the Mavs in the same division. So we'll probably just jump in. What's your thoughts on the division so far? We're probably 18 games in, give or take. What's your thoughts on the division so far?
So far, it's for me the strongest division within the Western Conference. When you look at the win-loss records, there's 3 out of the 5 teams in that division have a 500 or better record. When you compare that to Pacific, they've only got 2 in the Clippers, who I don't think deserve a plus 500 record. And of course the Golden State and the Northwest with only one team with 2 teams with 500 and plus, and one team with a winning record in Oklahoma City, who again I think are just going to, at the moment, sitting around about 500. They're 4 games above, but you know, after another 10 games they could be at 500. You know,
a bit streaky at the moment. Not playing very consistently.
So Southwest to me is definitely the strongest division in the strongest conference. So there's plenty to talk about there.
No, definitely. So just we'll just run through the sort of standings so far, and we'll just kind of work it that way. So the San Antonio Spurs have started 14-4. Tough loss last night to Chicago. Unfortunately for me, Memphis are sitting second in the division at the moment with a 10-8 records, followed by Dallas, who are also 10-8. We've got the Houston Rockets. I'm looking forward to discussing the Rockets here at 7-11, and then we've got the Pelicans, New Orleans Pelicans, at 4-13. So anywhere you want to start, or
a couple of things for me is that I think it's when you're looking at this point in the season, and Memphis and Dallas have the same win and loss record, and about 10 games in, Dallas were in a massive hot streak, and everyone was thinking these guys are massively overperforming, and they've now looks like they're probably going to settle into around about a 500 record again. Whereas Memphis started off reasonably slow, and people were starting to doubt, is their window finished? And now they're starting to come a wee bit stronger. So it'd be interesting to see their trajectories for the rest of the season.
Totally.
So I think that's quite interesting. The other thing is just the San Antonio Spurs are awesome. And
you're allowed to say that.
I was watching them and I keep forgetting how deep they actually are until you watch them play. but they're massive. They're really deep at the kind of power forward and kind of centre position.
Yeah.
The difference this year to last year was last year their backup kind of centre was Jago Splitter, who played, could score around the basket, but that was just about it. Whereas their second starting or centre or power forward and their backup power forward are both really good at mid-range jump shots, but can score real close to the basket, rebound the ball really well, and that to me has totally changed the way in which they're able to run their offenses, because they're able to attack from that kind of 15-foot area. You add in the fact that Kawhi Leonard can take anyone off the dribble and pull up from that range as well. They're deadly at that kind of 15 to the basket, 15 feet to the basket. So they're really good to watch.
Perfect. So, just on that, so we'll stick there. I suppose we'll just run through what the Spurs. So obviously this season's big acquisition was obviously LaMarcus Aldridge, probably the top free agent on the market at the time, and being a Texas-born lad, he decided to come home. So obviously joining sort of the old guns as such, and Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, as I say, the list goes on. Obviously you mentioned the other power forward there is David West, who has a great mid-range game and who left a lot of cash on the table from the Pacers. It was roughly 11-12 million.
My take on this is that LaMarcus Aldridge was the biggest kind of brand, or he was the biggest free agent in the market at that stage. The biggest steal of the summer for me is definitely David West, and it's mainly because he gave up so much to go to this club, because he's leaving it on the line. He's leaving 11 million on the line to win a championship. So
frightening amount of money.
Shows how much he wants it.
Wants to win. Totally.
He could be having a good, another good season on a reasonably good team in the East. But he's now able to. Well, a couple of things. He can preserve his body hopefully for a couple more seasons because he's playing less minutes. And he's playing against other team second units. And at the same time be with a great a great team, have a great coach. And it pains me to say it, but the Spurs are stacked. They're really good. So
the transformation of the team over the years, it's like sort of like a reload. That's every year you've got, as I say, Tim Duncan's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer when he finally decides to pack it in, if he ever does. You've got Ginobili, again questionable, and a Hall of Famer, Tony Parker. This year Kawhi Leonard is just taking that step to superstardom. And the funny story, when I was on holiday this year, I was speaking. It was opening night and the Spurs were playing Oklahoma, and I got speaking to a gent at the bar, and he was season ticket holder for last season with the Spurs, and he told me before the season started Kawhi Leonard this season would be MVP, and I kind of laughed at him thinking, I'm a Spurs fan, he's good, he's not at that level yet when you're talking about your LeBrons, your Steph Currys, your Kevin Durant's, but realistically so far, I know it's only 18 games in, he's in the discussion.
Oh, definitely. For
MVP, and it just shows you, the Spurs sort of philosophy of kind of reloading and getting themselves back in that championship frame of mind.
Like for me, when it comes to sports, team sports, and I'm real big on culture. And it's the culture of this club that guys like Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan have allowed someone to come through the ranks and become the man. It says so much for the whole club. It says so much for the players. It says so much for the coaching staff that they're able to allow that to happen. There's not a lot of clubs that happens with in such a seamless way that has happened here. He's playing at definitely an all-star standard. He's definitely going to be in the conversation for MVP coming into the season. So it'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. The Spurs for me, they've got that sort of young kind of talent that's coming through slowly with a veteran, but it's Greg Popovich at the helm as the coach, who for me just he's just Spurs through and through. He doesn't, he's got it's his way or the highway sort of thing, but the guys buy in, and as you say, you've had Tim Duncan, your Ginobili's, your Parker's taking less money to stay and play to attract guys, and he's just, in my opinion, the best coach in the NBA. But
I'd say it's definitely in that conversation.
We've got another coach in this division that I would probably put in, Rick Carlisle as well.
Brilliant coach as well. I think we talk about teams rebuilding, and Philadelphia are now in their third or fourth year of this current rebuild, which is probably their third rebuild in a row.
Yeah.
But you actually look at the Spurs, and they're constantly rebuilding, and it's effortless because people want to go and play there.
Yeah, totally.
So and the other side for the Spurs as well is when someone gets picked up by the Spurs, sometimes as a player comes along and he gets picked up. Stephen Jackson was one for me a couple of years ago, and I thought that's odd, but we're only seeing Stephen Jackson from this side of the Atlantic, with the tattoos and the odd outburst and all that. But when he get picked up by the Spurs, then you start to actually think, well, he must actually have really serious kind of strong character. For Craig Popovich to have him on the team. And that's the other side of players that play for San Antonio. They've all got they're all high character players that will fit into the team and be part of that team. You don't get a lot of whiners, you don't get a lot of moaners playing for the Spurs.
And they don't get the chance. That's the issue, Bob. You say something, you're out, sort of thing, and they're not. There's a queue of guys. If you had the option, as you say, in David West, the prime example, people are giving up money to play in the Spurs, and it's a culture sort of thing there. So, as I said, they've got a tough loss last night against the strong Chicago Bulls team. So the next couple of games up for the Spurs here, we've got tomorrow night, Wednesday, at home against the up and coming Milwaukee Bucks, who haven't been very great this season so far, but I rate them very highly for the next couple of years. Then it's Thursday night, so back to back, and it's away to Memphis, so rivalry game there, always a good one. And then at home, on the Saturday to the Spurs, get to the Celtics. So quick turnaround, suppose it's NBA Life style for you. Any predictions? Should we do predictions? Or
I think for me, Milwaukee will be a cakewalk. That's the brains of experience versus the futility of youth. Guys are just going to spend all their energy pretty quickly. I think that should be an easy one. I think Memphis is going to be a grind.
It's a grindhouse.
It is a grindhouse. So I've got an interesting stat for you later on. So that'll be an interesting game to watch.
Cool.
From a scores perspective, and Boston are dangerous.
Very.
They have, they just don't care. They've got this attitude where they do not care who they're playing. They're just going to give you 100%. And Brad Stevens is doing a great job there.
Brilliant.
I love the way those guys are playing. It reminds me a lot of a team I coached years ago when I was coaching a junior team. We were tiny, but we just had that kind of fight. Didn't want to give up. So I see that in them. They've
been one of my league passes must watches so far this season into the Celtics.
It's fun to watch.
Very good. Brad Stevens is a cracking coach there. So cool. So quite happy with the Spurs, I suppose. As I say, they are the pinnacle of this division. But I
can't argue there.
We'll move down the division slightly. So next up there was the Grizzlies. We'll jump on the Grizzlies since the Spurs were playing them next. And we got and they're second in the division, to 10-8 as stated. So, what's your thoughts on the Grizzlies and how?
As I said, slow start to the season. I think after 3 games, and people were kind of wondering, have they reached their peak? Are they they're on the way down now? But since that point, they started putting in some kind of steady games. As always, they're kind of leading with their defense, but I think I was actually surprised with their offense this year as well, because they are actually kind of scoring the ball. It could be a wee bit more. It's kind of mid-90s kind of scoring per game is by average, but they fall into similar categories of Bulls for me, where they're a great defensive team. Although I think these guys are stronger than the Bulls now, but they just have these times in the games where they don't score. and they put, there's some fives on the floor where they're just going to struggle for offensive output. And I love watching them play because, again, I'm very much a defensive minded kind of, that's the side of the game I really enjoy watching. So really enjoy watching these guys, and I enjoy watching them doing what they're doing. I just wish they could score the ball.
Well, they made a wee trade early in the season. Benno Udrich, they shipped out and brought in Mario Chalmers, which I thought was a good bit of business, to be honest, because Rio, through the heat days with the big three, with your LeBrons, your Wade, your Bosch, he was a starting point guard. He carried a lot of weight. He hit some huge shots in the playoffs and in the finals, and I think just having that kind of championship pedigree, the willingness to shoot the ball, because you can play Mario Chalmers and you could play Mike Conley on the court at the same time. I thought that was a really good bit of business, and the addition to Matt Barnes, who I've never been a great fan of, but he serves a purpose in terms of playing defence and shooting the ball from the corners. Now, he hasn't shot the ball very well so far this season, but again,
he fits their team and their mould very well. As you said, defence first. He's the guy that gets under the skin of the other team's guards and small forwards.
Totally.
He's a player everyone loves to hate. I'm the same as you. I've never really liked him, but I can appreciate him as what he brings to the team. It's the same way, but for Mario Chalmers as well. I've never really liked Mario Chalmers. I always think he walks about with this look that he's, I'm the man. And he even did that when he was on the same team as LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. But at the same time, you cannot question the fact that he's a champion, the fact that he has hit big shots. He came in this season even after he'd been traded, and he had a big game for Memphis. But same for you. I think it was a good trade for them. Beno Udrich he's a good player.
Solid.
And I think he kind of got the bum rush on this deal because, again, he's a good defensive player. He ran the offense well when they needed him to be on the floor. But I think Mario Chalmers, as an offensive player, is just slightly a step up there.
And that's kind of what they need at the end of the day. They've got all the defensive players. We're just jumping down there. We've also got Tony Allen, Mike Conley in the backcourt. Courtney Lee was their only sort of shooter, and then you've got arguably the best front line in the NBA with Marc Gasol and Zach Zebo Randolph.
They're up there, those two, definitely. The best. You could probably maybe put them in the category of the best front court that can't jump 2 centimeters.
Totally.
Zach Randolph's definitely the best rebounder in the league that can't jump.
He's never touched the rim, but he gets 15 rebounds a night.
I love Zebo's game. It's rough and ready. It's blue collar. It's just get dirty, get into it.
Totally.
Again, Marc Gasol, he's got a great all-round game, great passer, really good scorer, and again he just niggles away and gets in. I get frustrated when I watch him because I can imagine being that guy getting all the rubbish that he's thrown at you and getting annoyed. But that's his value to the team.
Totally.
He's the one that's getting under guys' skins again and getting the wee cheapy rebounds and the wee cheapy putbacks and all that. So
he's kind of got that Spanish sort of flair, obviously, like his brother as well. So they are quite crafty at drawing fouls. He obviously won Defensive Player of the Year, so he obviously knows how to block shots, and as you say, that sort of gritty, grindy, and he does fit in really well with the Grizzlies culture as such down there.
I think the disappointing thing for me this year is watching Vince Carter sit on the bench so much. I love it. I've watched Vince Carter now for 20 years. And it's that thing, he's coming to the end of his career. I don't know if he has the legs in him or if it's just the coach thinks he's better in practice and he doesn't need to play in the games or whatnot. But it'd be nice to see him because he got up a couple of times last year and threw some down last year, and he scored some big buckets in the playoffs as well.
That huge game.
So it's one of those things. He's getting old. You can see a couple of wee greys coming in his beard. There we go.
Vincent is and again that's. Is he playing looking for that championship run again? And he's never, he's had some good runs in the playoffs, but never really kind of got over the hill.
No. My personal thing with this team is I think they're kind of second round playoff team. And I don't think they're going to move past that with the current roster.
I do agree with you there in terms of the Grizzlies are, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't like to draw them in the second round or the first round of the playoffs. And obviously as the season progresses, we'll do a total playoff sort of picture, and we'll build up the matchups and things nearer the time. But which is this Western Conference, no matter who you go up against, it's going to be a war. And as you say, taking the game into Memphis, into that grindhouse, they they make it tough for you.
The player we haven't mentioned there, Jeff Green.
Jeff Green, yeah, totally.
Having a quiet, solid season from a solid player.
Yeah.
Again, I think they could maybe be getting a wee bit more out of him offensively. He's the kind of player you don't run plays for and you get 10, 15 points out of him.
Yeah.
I think if you give him a wee bit extra opportunity to score the ball, he could kind of be that second, third scorer for you.
Totally. I think they're kind of stuck in the two bigs format, and that's what their best lineup is, playing Zebo and Gasol together, and then Jeff Green, and he's fitting in at the three, and then you've got your Mike Conley. If they went small against some people as well, you could have Marc Gasol at one, you could have Jeff Green technically at the four, and then you could have Courtney Lee, shooter, Mike Conley, and Mario Chalmers. So that's 4 offensive players and one of the best centres.
Yeah.
So that goes away from how they want to play.
That's as I was just thinking. There's definitely, it would be interesting to see them try it.
Totally.
But again,
it goes away.
Their culture is about, as you said, the two bigs, protect the basket,
pound the ball inside,
pound the ball inside on offense, and so I'd like to see them try it.
I would love that.
I don't know if they will, but it'd be nice to see that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Next couple of games coming up. Tonight they're playing the New Orleans Pelicans. We're jumping on the Pelicans in a moment, I suppose. There should be a win the way they're playing. They're kind of started rolling a little bit, like the Grizzlies. And obviously, as we're going to jump on, the Pelicans haven't been great so far.
Pelicans have not been great, but again, some interesting stats coming through that could maybe be a projection of things to come.
Okay.
But I think that may be a closer game than you may be thinking.
Cool.
We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's about. And then obviously we've got the Thursday night in the grindhouse against my San Antonio Spurs. Again, that's a tough loss. Obviously the Spurs have already won one of the games this season already. It's difficult to go away from a Spurs, to be honest. But
I think that'll be a tight one again. But I think the Spurs have the depth to deal with that, because as I've said, after Gasol and Randolph, Grizzlies don't really have a third strong big guy.
Yeah.
Whereas I've said before, San Antonio have 3 guys they can rotate. They're really strong, and then they've got Baines jumping in after that. Apologies. He's gone now.
He's off. Yeah, totally. So they're running Boris Diaw at the 4 as well.
We didn't even talk about Boris Diaw. Yeah. He's a player I love to hate because he's really good, really crafty. But so that's it. They can go with LaMarcus Aldridge at 5 at stages.
Yeah, totally.
And have either Devo West at 4 or
Diaw.
Apologies, gone blank there. But so I think from that point of view, the Spurs have that matchup, and I don't think they've got anyone that can guard Kawhi Leonard. Matt Barnes will maybe play some time on him, but again, he's getting old. His legs are won't be as quick as fast as Kawhi Leonard. So I think the Spurs could maybe scratch that one.
And then on to the Sunday game at Phoenix and the Suns again. That's a tough matchup for the Grizzlies.
Suns are quick again.
Very quick. That's like contrasting styles if you've ever seen one. Quick up and down Phoenix Suns versus the grit and grind of the Grizzlies. Pound the ball inside. So pretty much it'll be whichever matchup.
The Suns have got a wee bit nastier now this year with Tyson Chandler. So it's they've. That's an interesting kind of pickup for them. So it'll be an interesting game.
Cool. Any little gems of stats you want to add in so far? Are you happy so far?
No, happy so far.
Happy so far.
We'll leave that for the game at the end. We'll give you a wee quiz.
Alright, looking forward to it. We'll move on then. We'll jump on to your Dallas Mavericks.
Yes.
As I said, came out the gun quite quick. Start of the season.
Yeah.
Cooled down a little bit. Mark Cuban and Rick Carlisle, not a bad combination for owner and head coach.
Yep.
And done quite a good job, I thought, like sort of restacking this team. I was a wee bit, after I've seen them play, that is, I was a wee bit shocked kind of how they did obviously make a big play for DeAndre Jordan in the off season, and that
the big disappointment.
Yeah, after his performance last night, I don't think it'd be too airball and free throws all over the place. But
yeah, I think they were putting. I think they and the rest of the league and all the pundits have, put too much stock into how good DeAndre Jordan is or is not.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. He's a very talented athlete.
Definitely.
But if you can't score free throws, and he's repeatedly done it season after season, you're no good to your team.
Yeah.
Because there's certain points in the game he can't
play.
And that to me is the absolute killer. I don't know what the problem is, but if I was working out on basketball 7 days a week, I'd make sure I could shoot free throws.
Yeah, even if you're shooting them underhanded,
Yep.
you've got to come up with a way to bank that ball in or whatever.
Yep.
So. But yeah, anyway, that's DeAndre Jordan. That's the Clippers. That's
but
not.
I actually think though that after, as you said, after the kind of the deflated feeling that they had, and after DeAndre Gate kind of panned out,
nice.
I think that, as you said, they've pulled themselves together quite well. And again, they're playing some nice basketball. But again, they've got Rick Carlisle, who's a great coach. And
Definitely.
He's got a number of players that are coming back. So like having Dirk Nowitzki come back for the umpteenth year now, having JJ Barrera back in there, having Devin Harris who back again, even having Charlie Villanueva coming back as well. Who's just he's a solid kind of support player.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think adding Deron Williams and seeing him having a wee bit of a renaissance early in the season, hopefully that can continue. But I like seeing the way he's playing. He's definitely less ball hoggish.
Yeah, I think the Nets kind of dragged that into him. He was dribbling the ball a lot. Him and ISO Joe, shooting off one pick, whereas he's not the focal point now. He's got the Winsky passability and Chandler Parsons, who's a great all-round player when healthy. I suppose that's his little kicker. But no, it's just. I'm actually quite surprised at how good a squad they've managed to put together, considering they did put a lot of time and effort into the DeAndre Jordan sort of saga. And as I say, Mark Cuban's one of the most aggressive owners, and he's going to give his team every chance.
Oh, definitely. I think Wesley Matthews is a good pickup as well.
Yeah.
And he responded really well after things didn't pan out with DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
People were asking, do you regret coming here? And his response was, well, no, I came here to help these guys win. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to try and do. I actually think so far this season the best pickup they've had is actually Zaza Pachulia.
Pachulia, yeah, totally.
Just a big guy likes to knock about with the big guys down low.
Yep.
And he's putting together a very solid season. I haven't seen him play this well, this consistently.
Yeah.
At any point in his career.
Totally.
So it's good to see that. It's nice to see that.
Yeah.
So there are some kind of nice wee bright spots there for Dallas.
Definitely. Just while we're kind of flicking on here, what we're going to do is we're just going to pause the jump onto our second part, as we've done with sort of these longer podcasts. So we're going to pause our one and we're going to throw the other one up onto our YouTube channel. So we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But stay tuned, guys. Part 2 coming up. But so obviously we're still live here on the YouTube channel. I'm just setting it up so that we can get part 2 running with the guys that obviously haven't found us on YouTube yet. We're talking about the Dallas Mavericks here, and here we go. So part 2, guys, on talking about the Dallas Mavericks with good friend Andy Smyth.
Hello.
So what's your thoughts so far on your Mavs? How how they've started, how they're playing. What's you thinking?
Yeah, they're playing some solid basketball. I think they're squeezing the last bit of basketball life out of Dirk Nowitzki. Unbelievably. I didn't think he'd be playing at this level to start the season. And I think part of that is due to having a stronger point guard.
Definitely.
Able to get him the ball in his spots. And as well at certain points of the game, they're definitely looking for Dirk. Whereas parts of last year, there was other players that were kind of not necessarily trying to take the limelight, but just trying to enforce their game on the Mavs kind of offense, whereas now again the work of Rick Carlisle and his team are doing
the ball,
making them shoot the ball well. They're shooting the ball in good spots. They're pushing the ball reasonably well as well. I see these as a kind of old team, but they're still reasonably kind of quick. Their points in transition are actually looking pretty decent at the moment as well. I kind of noticed. I was looking through the stats. I'm really happy with the way they're playing. When I look at their lineup, it doesn't fill me with joy. Apart from the fact Dirk Nowitzki is one of my all-time favorite players.
Definitely.
JJ Barea is one of my kind of all-time favorite players for different reasons, because he's one of these guys that everyone probably would have grown up would have said no chance.
No chance. Yeah, totally.
And he's made a good career in the NBA. But I like the different types of lineups they can throw out. I like you can kind of have your kind of solid, kind of slow point guard and Darren Williams taking the ball up the floor, controlled, and then you can throw in a bit of Devin Harris and have a wee bit of a kind of more up-tempo play, and you can actually play Devin Harris and JJ Barea very well together as well.
Totally.
Which brings you a bit of speed. JJ Barea, can shoot it. He's actually not bad for attacking the basket and dishing out as well. For someone of such a small stature as well. So totally. I really like the Mavs. The one player I'm still not really convinced about is the current Shaq and the full champion, JaVale McGee. He's been okay this year so far. He hasn't embarrassed himself too much on the Mavs organisation, but there's plenty of season left, so we'll see what happens.
JaVale, he's got one of those things. He's got all the kind of attributes of being a good to solid NBA centre. Big, wiry, can block shots, but he's done some stupid stuff over the years, tripping up, throwing balls out of bounds, you name it.
Well, what's his free throw percentage? Is 33%?
Yeah.
Can we just double check that's higher than
DeAndre Jordan's?
Because if it is, then the Mavs win that matchup. So
I'm guessing DeAndre Jordan's shooting far more free throws than JaVale McGee is, to be fair.
This is true.
So, 33% isn't great. Just looking at these stats there, you see, you're talking about Dirk Nowitzki, 50% from the field, 47% from three, 90% from the free throw line. 17 points a game. It's not blowing anybody away, but at the same time, he's obviously very efficient. For the age as well. And we were talking about Tim Duncan earlier. Having that old man Tim Duncan and Dirk Nowitzki game is.
That's it. It's Dirk's getting to the stage in his career now where you're seeing players try, his moves. So we've seen a couple of years ago when Dirk won and the Mavs won the championship. Then the next year, all of a sudden, Kevin Durant's trying the one-legged kind of fadeaway. He doesn't do it so much now, but he definitely tried it a lot the season after the Mavs won. But then seeing Kelly Olynyk try it against Dirk, which is nice that Dirk kind of had a wee bit of a laugh with him. But then I've actually seen Kelly Olynyk try that a couple of times, so that is actually a move he's trying. But it's some of the stuff that Dirk has done in his career were kind of genre-defining for kind of power forward or center, first of all he's oversized for a power forward or centre or whatever. The Mavs have always kind of played him as power forward, but he's oversized at that position. He could dribble the ball in the open court, and he could shoot threes, take guys with his back to the basket, and now that's what there's a number of guys coming through that's what they do. He was the first to do a lot of those things, and I think it's great to see him play. The other thing that's interesting when you look at the stats, you look at the points per game, is that there's it's a very kind of even spread.
So
totally. For a team to be at this point of the season and have a winning record and you don't have anyone scoring over 20 points a game, is quite significant as well. So
he shows the sharing the ball. Just touching that on Nowinski again, he's just so creative on getting his shot away, and that's something, obviously, being a Spurs fan, he's many a daggers over the years and that one-legged fadeaway, and you know, people still don't really know how to defend him. You know, they've tried bigger guys where he would take them off the dribble. They've tried smaller guys where he would literally just shoot over the top of them, and you know, even this season, you know, people they do switch on and off. You know, they're rotating a lot of guys at him, and that just shows you how good he is still. You know, obviously at the age that he is now. You know, 39 is he?
Yes, 30 39. And it's as well when you reflect on his career, is where he scores from. You know, because early in his career he was very much a 3-point shooter. Then he was able to learn the post play as well. Kind of short corner kind of. Never really played in the low block very much, but then his high post game got really strong, especially in that kind of the seasons where he won a championship and a couple of seasons before and after that. So throughout the game, you're seeing him attack, you know, in a fast break situation off a 3-pointer. You're seeing him post up in the high post and make a move. And it wasn't just a turn and shoot; it was a move. You know, with great footwork and you know, fading away sometimes as well. So great player.
Definitely, he's still one of the best to watch. Just now, you know, he's not the highlight reel stuffer now, but in terms of the dunks and that, but he's still going to get.
He did done the All-Star game off an alley. That's
it. He did. That is true. So the Mavs tonight. Are on the TNT special tonight against the Portland Trailblazers. Tough game. The Trailblazers obviously lost LaMarcus Aldridge and things, but have been quite surprising so far to start.
Young and fast.
So again, maybe a bit of contrast in styles tonight. How do you see that one going?
I think I'll go in the Mavs' favour, but again, that's for me the old, you know, kind of experience kind of going against the youth. The Blazers are dangerous, especially when they're hitting their shots.
Definitely.
But I think we're going to see them throughout the season kind of blow hot and cold, depending on whether shots are dropping or not. But they're good to watch. The Blazers are fun to watch. So.
Well, both teams are coming off a back-to-back. This is their second game of a back-to-back. Obviously, the Mavs last night got beat off Bobby Cousins and the Sacramento Kings. So, you know, it's again travelling and all the rest of it. And times it's a tough one. Old bodies having to limber themselves up again, but again, a good matchup tonight. And then Friday night, it seems every team we spoke about in this division are kind of playing each other, and that's one of the great things about the league, I suppose, that on Friday they're playing the Houston Rockets. Again, it's tough to call due to the fact that the Rockets have been hot and cold, pretty much blowing which way James Harden's beard's blowing. If it's towards the basket, he's dropping 50, and if it's not, they're getting beat by 50. So, I think
that'll be a tough matchup, because the Rockets, although their record stinks, the record doesn't reflect what the team can do.
Totally.
But I suppose we can come on to that later.
Yeah, definitely. As I say, it's always these teams know each other so well as well. Being in the same division, you're playing each other 4 times a year. Pre-season against each other due to the fact that it's limited travel and things as well. So
I think as well the Mavs have a couple of big guys they can throw at Dwight Howard and just get him annoyed, so he's gonna do his normal kind of fade away,
go in the half. Nice one. Cool. Well, it's kind of leading itself on really well, so we may as well jump into the Houston Rockets just now. And obviously, my first ever podcast that I had done was just a sort of a short, 8-10 minute maybe rant was maybe the best way to describe it, about the Houston Rockets and their firing of Kevin McHale. A bit of a shocker in my opinion. That's what I said during the podcast. They sort of, in my opinion, they kind of overachieved last year getting to the conference finals. But at the same time, when you look at the sort of the dynamics of their team, they play exactly, the ball's in Harden's hands all the time. He creates, he scores, and he gets easy shots for Dwight Howard, your Terence Jones, your Trevor Ariza, etc., etc. But yeah, they've obviously started the season quite poor. I think it's the best way to kind of describe that there. So 7-11.
Yeah.
The last 10 games they were 3-7 as well. So obviously losing quite a lot recently.
Yeah. I think coming into this season, a lot of people are talking about the fact that they were going to expect the Warriors to have a winning hangover.
Yeah.
I actually think it's Houston Rockets have kind of come into the season with they overachieved last season.
Yeah.
And but they did it through hard work, right? And they did it for the right reasons. Although I don't agree with McHale's, or didn't agree with McHale's offensive philosophies.
Yeah.
They did it on the defensive end for a large part, which again was hot and cold. And at some stage in the season, James Harden can turn around and just thought, well, actually, I need to start playing defense.
Yeah, totally.
Stop having people laughing at me on the internet all the time for how bad my defense is. But I think they've definitely come in with a kind of a wee bit of a swagger, thinking they're better than what they are.
Yeah.
You actually look at the roster again; they're reasonably talented, but they're reasonably talented with good kind of roster fillers.
Yeah.
Apart from Harden and Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Who now, for me, in my mind, he's not a marquee kind of club player.
Yeah.
If I was an owner, I wouldn't go and find Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Mentally, he's not there, which people have been saying for years. He's now proved that with his time at the Lakers and his time now here. And James Harden, last year and years previous to that, was showing himself to be a really good leader. When he got traded from Oklahoma at the start of the season a couple of years ago, and he just instantly went out and led the team to wins.
Yeah.
Through just kind of, I think he was just trying to prove himself.
All round play, totally.
But this year, is it the Kardashians or?
Yeah, I don't know.
Some people are saying, or is there something else happening with James Harden? I don't know, but it just doesn't seem he's not the same player. He's not getting to the basket.
Yeah.
He's shooting around about the same number of threes as he did last year.
Yeah.
But they're not dropping.
Percentage is poor.
Yeah, and then he's not bolstering that with free throws, which he got a ton of free throws last year. And his overall free throws at the moment are down this year so far. So, I just feel to like this team, to be honest.
My thing with James Harden is I think over the summer he's spent more time developing the James Harden brand than he has the James Harden basketball player.
Yeah.
And he signed a $200 million deal with Adidas. You've seen all the commercials that he was obviously involved in.
Yeah.
He was obviously seeing, I don't really know too much about the Kardashians, but again, he was involved in all that. And I think the seasons came around a bit quicker than he was thought, and he's just not in shape. He's not in NBA shape. He's obviously in shape, but he's just not in NBA shape. So, they picked up Ty Lawson, for the start of this season as well, and which at the time they got him for pretty much nothing in terms of trade pieces. But again, and this hasn't really worked out either. Both ball hog sort of players and not enough space on the court.
Agree. Ty Lawson's quite a fragile person. He's got the off-court issues.
Yeah.
Kind of
seems to be a common trend with these Rockets.
And I thought this would have actually been a supportive environment for him, but at the moment it doesn't seem to be playing out that way. And people were saying, we'd help him find his feet and all this kind of stuff. But they don't seem to have done that. And again, I go back. Started the podcast. I talked about culture. These guys and the club, the Houston Rockets. To me, they don't have a strong culture.
Yeah.
And again, that plays itself out through the coaching staff. It plays itself out on the floor. They don't have a strong culture. They're celebrating winning a game in overtime when they only got into overtime because of a one-legged jack from Corey Brewer.
Yeah, totally.
When you're on the floor, if you're looking for Corey Brewer to bail you out of a game with a one-legged three-point shot, then you're in trouble.
Totally.
So, but they're all shoulders back and chest out when they hit that shot. But for me, I'd be if I was on that team, I'd be kind of in the corner, kind of going, Jesus,
quite lucky.
We were lucky we got out of that one. So, not a big fan of Houston Rockets.
No, they've got as I say, I think they'll come good as the season progresses when Harden kind of finds his feet a little bit more. And I think Howard, when healthy, he'll contribute a little bit more. He's kind of not really he's still putting up stats, but at the same time, he's supposed to be an elite centre. So unless they show that, then again, they'll probably, saying that, they might not even hit the playoffs the way the Western Conference is going just now. Which would be a total travesty, pretty much, from last season.
No, definitely. He'll hit the big guys hard. He'll hit Dwight Howard hard. He'll hit James Harden hard. But it might be the thing that James Harden needs to happen to wise up.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard frustrates me because his best seasons he had was when he was at Orlando.
The Magic, yeah.
And he was getting coached by Van Gundy. And they set the whole team up around him, and it was shooters, and the whole offense was pick and roll. Yeah. And Dwight Howard was scoring over 20 points a game, largely on pick and rolls. He developed a wee bit of a hook shot, a wee bit of a kind of, at one stage he was actually shooting jumpers off the glass, from 10, 15 feet, or not even 15 feet, but 10, 12 feet.
Yeah.
But largely it was pick and roll basketball. Totally. If he wasn't scoring, it was getting kicked out to a 3-point shooter, and they were scoring. But then he turned around and said he doesn't like that game. Yeah, that's his game.
That's it. Well, that's it.
And I think what Houston needs, and for me to start to like Houston again, it comes back to someone getting in there with some coaching chops that are going to go and create a culture of winning in Houston. Yeah. Because at the moment they don't have a winning culture.
Which is weird considering they got rid of Kevin McHale, who won all the championships with the Celtics. Yep. He's got the caliber of being an all-star player, a champion. He's won everything, and rocky start, but
they should have I would have just gone out with it a wee bit. Yeah. The other thing that surprised me about a Kevin McHale team, and then this is his first big coaching job, or was his first big coaching job, was Kevin McHale was a fantastic defender as a player. Yeah. And I don't understand how he didn't get it over to his team, because Kevin McHale played against Bill Laimbeer and stood up to him. He was fighting with the big guys. He was fighting with Karl Malone. He was fighting with Bill Laimbeer. He was going at some nasty dudes. And although he was a wiry, skinny guy with these really big, weird, like shoulders.
Big swimming shoulders.
He could play basketball, and he wasn't afraid of anybody. And he, to see Houston Rockets team that are that weak defensively, coming from a guy that played on such high caliber defensive teams in the Celtics in the 80s, I find that I don't understand why that hasn't happened. Yeah. I don't know if it's down to him not picking the right coaching staff, or if it's just down to not having the right players that could play that system. I don't know. Yeah. So
it's a shame he's lost his job, I suppose. But I suppose
he'll be around again, I'm sure.
Totally. So as I said before, these guys tomorrow night they're playing the Pelicans, New Orleans Pelicans, which, funnily enough, here we go, is going to link us into our next team that we're going to talk about.
It's like you planned this.
Planned it. I wish I could say I did. That would be. But no, so Pelicans tomorrow night, and then you play your Mavs on Friday. As I say, the way they're playing, it's unless Harden goes for 40 or 50, I just don't see them winning games just now. And it's just as I say, they've just got that losing culture about them just now, which is a shame for a team with championship aspirations, really.
Well, they were in the chat at the start of the season, weren't they?
Yeah.
But not many people are talking about that now.
Naturally. Perfect. Right, well, we'll jump on. Last up, I suppose, is the Pelicans, who, Anthony Davis is their sort of focal point, the franchise player, tipped to be the next superstar in the NBA, the next big thing.
Yep.
We've started the season off pretty slowly with a 4-13 record, 3 wins and 7 losses in our last 10 games. I don't want to jump on injuries again with this team, because it seems to be the common theme over the last few years, but their best players are injured constantly, and it makes it really difficult to win games in a very tough Western Conference when your best players are sitting on the bench all the time in suits. So
I think having Omar actually go out reasonably regularly hasn't helped with their consistency, because then Anthony Davis is having to go up against bigger players at times. But you're right, it's throughout the team, and there's something that needs to be looked at, I think, for their athletic trainers, and that side of their organisation. It's when it's happening that regularly, then there's something not kind of been taken care of there.
Totally.
Again, having Drew Holiday, he's been in and out of the lineup. When he's healthy, he's a very consistent guard.
Yeah, totally.
And can play both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
But I think when you actually reflect, we're talking about, we've talked about all the team, or on the last team now in this Southwest Division.
Yeah.
Before the season started, everyone was basically saying every team in that division can win the championship.
Yeah.
So that was probably unrealistic when you actually think about the 5 teams you've discussed.
Yeah.
And the fact they're going to play each other 4 times each, it's difficult for to when you actually look at it, when you reflect on that fact that there's no way all 5 of those teams are going to end up with in the playoffs.
No.
It's just not going to happen. But I think with these guys, they've had a disappointing start. I think Alvin Gentry has had for him it'll be a difficult start going from winning a championship last year as assistant coach. Yeah. But again, that to me is a good move for that club, because again they're going with a high quality coach who was given a lot of credit for the types of the offensive systems that has been embedded now in Golden State. I haven't seen that transport over into his new club yet, but again it's very early days, and I'm hoping that they're going to give Alvin Gentry a good chunk of time to first of all to build a roster around that he thinks will be able to start competing in a couple of years, and also just see what they do to build around Anthony Davis, because he is he's one of the next big things in the league, isn't he? And
definitely.
When you watch him,
he can do everything.
But he works hard. You can tell he's worked hard. He came in a really skinny kid.
Yeah.
He's still reasonably skinny, but you can see his shoulders are starting to develop. He's starting to, he's doing a lot of work on the body.
Yeah.
I think he's, it's really interesting watching him, and he's lovely to watch play.
Definitely.
One of the things I love about him is his offensive rebounding and his kind of put back dunks he does reasonably regularly.
He just, as you say, he goes after rebounds. 10.5 a game. Statistically, it's only 2 offensive rebounds a game, which doesn't seem a lot, but again, he has been in and out of the lineup this year with injuries again, which is the kicker. But when you look at their squad here, Ish Smith has been a little sort of diamond in the rough. He's averaging up to, I think it's about 7, had about 7 assists a game, or 8 assists a game, sorry, through the first 17 games that they've played, so that's a great little sort of gem that I say that they've found. Obviously they've got Drew Holiday, former All-Star point guard. You've got Eric Gordon, who was claimed to be the next big shooting guard when he came out. Again, he's maybe not lived up to that. Ryan Anderson, who is a very underrated player in my opinion, shoots the 3 very well, can rebound a little bit for being quite a big guy, but so they've got pieces to be good. It's just getting them on the court. I think
that's the crux of it all, isn't it? And Ish Smith, as you said, you kind of mentioned he diamond in the rough, and again he only got signed right before the season.
Yeah, totally.
Actually, I quite like your big Alex Jinta.
Jinka,
I say that right. I like him for a number of reasons. First of all, he looks like Kieran Nakara, who's
true.
For those of you in America probably don't know him, he's a Scottish basketball player, and myself and Mark played against him when we were growing up. And he's now playing for the Glasgow Rocks. Scottish Rocks, played for Great Britain. Looks just like Alexis Aginta, but slightly smaller by maybe an inch.
Definitely,
but he's actually a reasonably solid centre. He doesn't do anything too flashy. He doesn't score massive amounts, but he's a big guy. He can defend reasonably well around the basket. He's not a massive shot blocker or anything like that, but he's a good guy to throw in there. As you said, Ryan Anderson, very underrated player. I love watching him play. He's actually, I think he's a lot tougher than what people give him credit for as well.
Definitely.
Because he does sometimes have to go up against kind of power forwards and other teams, and he's maybe a wee bit undersized. Most of the times those matchups, but as you said, he's a great shooter. He's a good passer as well.
Very good.
So yeah, I like him.
I think they've got all the pieces, and I think Alvin Gentry will be able to sort of implement an offense to create shots for people, and I think they just need to get healthy. And I think they'll make a wee push as the season progresses. last season these 5 teams all did hit the playoffs for the first. I can't see that happening just due to how deep the Western Conference is. But don't be. I think they'll all be in that sort of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bracket. Kind of pushing near the end of the season.
I think I suppose for me, it's you look at last year and a number of teams that didn't make the playoffs with winning records.
Yeah.
That's the scary thing. If I'm the Houston Rockets and I'm the Pelicans.
Yeah.
And you're sitting this far below 500 at the moment.
Totally.
That's the kind of scary thing. Even Houston's only 4 games below 500 at the moment, but extrapolate that across the rest of the season. If that continues, they're going to be way out the hunt.
Get a good draft pick next season.
Aye.
And
that's some people are already talking about that with New Orleans. Are they going to just kind of
pack it in
and go for a high draft? I'm not a big fan of that play, mainly because again culture.
Yeah.
But if I'm expecting people to pay money to come and see my team play, is it fair to have them go through that? And I know it is a strategy that people use, and I'm not an owner, and I don't have the pressures they've got. But
true.
San Antonio haven't done that.
Yeah. And
they've been up near the top of Southwest Division, up near the top of the West for years.
So 50 wins for the last 15 seasons.
So.
Cool. The Pelicans, they've got tonight. They're playing the Grizzlies, as we said. So we discussed that already. Tough matchup, depending on pretty much who shows up.
Yeah.
And we've got the Rockets tomorrow night as well. So we've got a couple of minutes. I suppose you've got a couple of wee gems that you want to throw at me.
Some questions.
Let's see.
We pop quiz here for you, right?
Go on.
These are all questions. These are some nice, interesting wee stats for the teams within the Southwest Division. Okay, so let's see what your answers are and compare them to what the real deal is.
Alright, got you.
Right, Southwest questions. Here we go. Who in the Southwest has scored the most in transition?
The most transition?
Yeah. So, and the way I've been able to term this is that they've scored early in the 24-second clock, so around the 15 to 18 second or 18 to 15 second mark. Alright. Okay. So first.
I would say quickness. I don't know. I'll probably have to say San Antonio.
San Antonio's your top team?
Yeah.
Give me a rundown then. San
Antonio, I would go maybe Houston. I'll go probably Dallas, Houston, New Orleans, and then Memphis.
Interesting. So the top team that's scored in transition in the Southwest at the moment is New Orleans. Wow. 9.3 points per game.
No, that doesn't surprise me too much. Young.
Followed by Dallas.
Alright.
Which actually surprised me because earlier on I said they're an old team. They do, times they play. But again, you can throw in Devin Harris, you can throw in JJ Barea.
Interesting.
You get that. Followed by San Antonio Spurs.
Okay.
Then Houston.
Yeah.
And then Memphis.
Oh,
I thought it was quite an interesting stat because for me, Houston don't really have a massive offense.
Yeah, totally.
And a lot of it is transition. A lot of it is just get out to Harden and make some moves.
Yeah.
But at the moment, they're kind of low scoring in that.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next one, real quick.
Yep.
Team who scores most with 7 or more dribbles.
Oh goodness. I'm gonna go with Houston. 7 or more dribbles, just due to the fact that James Harden's on the team. I think that seems to be 7 or more. Then I would go for Dallas, Memphis, New Orleans, and San Antonio at the end, due to the fact of ball movement.
Right. It's interesting. Houston is number 1. 3.3 points per baskets per game scored with 7 or more dribbles. Second place is Spurs.
Alright, wow.
But I was thinking about this. But you think how many times has Tony Parker scored a basket after dribbling to the key, dribbling back out again, back in again, takes a wee short corner jumper. So quite interesting. Then Dallas and Grizzlies both on 2.8 and Pelicans in the end. Last.
Wow.
Good time for any more?
Not really, no, that's pretty much time up. 25 seconds. Well, what we'll do is we can save them and we can take them on for the next time. Thanks very much for listening, Andy. I really appreciate it. We're pretty much down to the bare bones of podcast today, so enjoyed yourself?
Yes, immensely. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. We'll definitely get you back in. Thanks, guys. Check the podcast at the Sporting Link, and we'll be on YouTube. Thank you. 1 second to go.
Was it?
29 minutes 12 and 29 minutes 58.
Podcast.
This one's still running. As I say, guys, we're going to be on YouTube, and we've been doing it through the Twitter feed and things just now. So if you've managed to get us listen to us for the whole hour here, I really, really appreciate it. So I suppose you can take us being a little bit cheery, try to get that podcast under the hour there. But yeah, since we've got a wee bit of time, you want to just run through? We'll do it.
Alright. Team who has the best percentage of defended field goals. So this is a field goal that is, well, two. There's a field goal that's been made with a defender on them, and a field goal that's attempted with a defender on them.
Alright, okay. So
we'll go field goals made with a defender on them.
Tough shots, pretty much.
Yeah.
Who's hitting the most tough shots? That's a tricky one, I think. I'll go with.
So we'll go with who's got the highest
percentage. The highest percentage of made shots that have been contested, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Memphis.
Right.
I don't know. Go with Memphis. Spurs had quite a lot of open shots, I think, ball movement wise. So I'm going to leave them near the end.
Well, flipping it the other way though, it's they're defending. So
right.
Teams are defending, right? So.
Right. Okay. So I'll put the Spurs at the top then.
Close, yeah.
Yeah. I'll go with Dallas, New Orleans, Houston. No, Memphis, and then Houston.
Alright. So, the team with the lowest defensive field goal made against them is the Grizzlies.
Right. Okay.
So makes sense. Next up is Spurs.
Yeah.
So sorry, the Grizzlies have 34.9 points scored, baskets scored against, or field goals made against them.
Right. Okay.
With a defender in
the
case.
On them.
So that's quite low.
Yeah.
Spurs are 35.2.
Okay.
Followed then by the Mavs. So again, that's maybe reflective of why they're kind of having a good season so far. Having a decent bit of season. Then the Pelicans at 39.9, and then the Rockets. Lowly Rockets at 40.7. So the other stat for me is interesting. So the number of defensive field goals attempted, or defended field goals attempted. So the amount of field goals that a team scores against these teams that are attempted with a defender on the player.
Contested shots.
Yes, contested shots.
Yeah.
From all over the whole floor.
Yeah.
So what would you rank there then?
So the team that hit shots against their defense. I don't know. It's tough because I think Memphis being quite a defensive team, so surely they're going to clamp down on again. I might stick with the same lineup as it like. So right. Memphis, San Antonio, Dallas, New Orleans, and then Houston at the end.
Well, this is a funny one for me because again, I would expect Memphis to have a higher number of field goals attempted against them with a defender on them.
Yeah,
they're actually the lowest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 76.7.
Wow.
But again, what's the story behind that? For me, it's obviously they do throw a lot of double teams.
True.
At teams.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily just playing straight up man to man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of help in there, so that would maybe lead to that.
Swing to open shots.
But those shots are probably long twos or threes.
Yeah.
So they're not that often
a high percentage shots as well. Yeah.
So it's Grizzlies there, followed by San Antonio with 83.2, Mavs at 83.8, and then Pelicans and Rockets joint last.
Yeah.
86.1. So, right, couple more.
Yeah, let's do it.
Best offensive team rebounding team.
The best offensive rebounding team.
Yes.
It's tough to look past the Grizzlies just because of their big and Zebo and Gasol. So I'm going to go with them at 1. I'm going to go with, I don't know, Clint Capella and that with the Rockets. Houston are quite big up front. They do take a lot of jumpers, so I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of rebounds. So I'm going to take them at 2. And then I'll go with the Spurs, the Mavs, and then the Pelicans.
Interesting. So lowest, we'll go lowest to highest.
Right.
Lowest are the Grizzlies.
Wow.
7.3.
Alright, interesting.
So, very interesting.
Obviously not crashing the board, Zebo. Too busy. She can't jump high enough.
Oh, sorry, I've got that totally wrong. Lowest is the Mavs, so 7.
Alright, okay.
Second is the Grizzlies, 7.3.
Okay.
Then the Pelicans, 7.7. Spurs, 8. And then Houston, 9. So,
I'm surprised at the Grizzlies, to be honest, just because how big they are and they box out on both ends of the court.
Yep. I'm surprised at that as well.
Yeah.
If you look at the overall rebounds, it's actually quite interesting. Overall rebounds, both offense and defense, the winner at the moment is the Pelicans at 47.7 a game.
Wow, that doesn't make sense considering when you get taught when you're playing that if you win the rebounding battle, you're going to win the game.
Yep.
And they're not.
No, they're not at all. They're not at all. And they're, it's a good 2.7 rebounds between them and the next best, which is the Spurs and the Mavs. So it's quite an interesting stat, which again could play itself out as the season progresses.
Totally.
If they're rebounding well.
Yeah, you're going to win games eventually because of that. So.
2 more, right? Very interesting.
Right. Okay.
Right, so we're going to go top points per game. Right.
Right. Okay.
But we'll do the season so far within the Southwest Division.
Okay.
So what are each team averaging against other teams in the Southwest Division this season so far? Right.
Interesting.
So, give us your bottom team to top team and the points you think they're scoring.
Oh goodness. Right. I've got to I'll take the lowest team scoring the least amount of points. I'm going to go with the Grizzlies.
Right.
Points per game, that's tough. But I'll do Grizzlies, Pelicans, Rockets, Spurs, Mavs. I've seen the Mavs put up quite a big points this season.
Yeah.
So Mavs, let's go with about 105 maybe.
Alright.
105, can I average that down to, and I say the Grizzlies at the bottom, about 90 points a game maybe.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got that totally inverted.
You're right. You're up. No, you're kind of almost right. Right. So the worst team with regards to how many points they're scoring against other teams in the Southwest Division at the moment.
Yeah.
The San Antonio Spurs.
Wow.
90 points a game.
90. All right. Okay.
Right. The next is the Houston Rockets at 91.7.
Right. Okay.
And then we get a big jump. Grizzlies 97.5. Mavericks 100.2 points per game. Pelicans are the top, 107.3. Again, I need to have we need to have a proper look at how many they've won. So in the division,
the New Orleans Pelicans are 2-1 in the division so far. The Grizzlies are 3-1.
Yeah.
The Spurs are 2-1 and they've scored the least amount of points so far. Dallas 2-3 losing record, and the Rockets have been beat every time so far that they've played Sunday in the Southwest. So interesting.
It's interesting. What was it? What I find interesting as well is you compare their scores within the Southwest Division compared to against playing out teams in, pretty much like they're every other team in the league.
Yeah.
The Mavs are pretty much the same, 100 points per game within the Southwest and 100 points per game, dead on.
Yeah.
The rest is against the rest of the teams. Houston make a pretty big jump, so 91.7 against other Southwest teams, 101.8 against the rest of the league.
Yeah,
that's a significant jump.
Yeah.
Grizzlies 97.5 against the rest of the league. They actually go down. They're 96.2.
96. Still quite a lot for the Grizzlies.
Aye.
More than last year anyway.
Pelicans, again they dropped, but still they're 107.3 against the rest of the Southwest. Against the rest of the league, 101.5.
Right.
So still they're breaking the 100 mark.
Yeah.
The Spurs again 90 against other Southwest teams, but against the rest of the league 98.8. So it's a big jump.
Totally.
But still, for me, you would expect the Spurs maybe be scoring maybe 4 or 5 points more per game.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting stat, I think. But again, what goes behind that? The Spurs are a top class defensive unit.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole team.
Totally.
And I think that's maybe where teams like the Pelicans will need to get to. To some extent, even the Grizzlies. I don't think they're playing as high caliber defense as they maybe have.
No.
They've got potential to do that, but they're only scoring 96 points a game.
Yeah,
it's going to be difficult to win games.
It's tough to win games.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you can't really turn it into a shootout.
Yeah.
With the Grizzlies, but cool. So as I say, we closed off our Twitter account. podcast there. We're running it for the hour. Obviously, this podcast with the thought of throwing it on YouTube. So if you have managed somehow to put up with us through the last hour and change there, I really appreciate it. And jump onto YouTube there, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know how you find it. Be gentle, I suppose.
Be very gentle.
But guys, I really appreciate it. As I say, the following, jump on Twitter at the Sporting Chat. If you want us to discuss, we're going to probably go through the rest of the divisions as the season progresses as well. Really enjoyed having a chat with you today, Andy. So
thank you, Mark.
Appreciate it, and thanks guys. Speak to you soon.
Peace.